All right.
Okay, ready to get started?
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott Sunberg from Fitness Finders. I've spoken to most of you, or emailed most of you at the very least. Thank you for joining us. I'm your customer service rep or sales rep, whatever you want to call me. And this is my partner.
Joey, and I'm kind of work with EasyScan here, coordinate some things with it, we just want to help you walk through getting set up, what to expect, how it all works, what you would use it for, all that good stuff. So today we'll just walk you through EasyScan, the #1 lap tracking app.
And we'll take your questions at the end of the session here, okay?
All right, so as we said, EasyScan is the best lap tracking software on the market. As a company, Fitness Finders has been in the line of promoting and motivating positive behaviors in students for over 40 years. In 1986, Mileage Club was created as a structured way to get kids more active before, during, after school. As the students completed laps, they'd get dried beans. Well, students soon learned that they could bring their own dried beans, and that went out the window. So they tried bingo chips next. Well, they brought their own bingo chips. They were racking up too many laps. So, so we learned a lot from those. And then next we went on to toe tokens, as you all know, the plastic feet, mileage marker cards, the hole punches, and tally sticks were created also.
However, teachers still had to tally all the laps and data themselves. And you have to find out when the kids were in certain benchmarks. It was really, really time consuming, especially if you had a lot of kids in your program. Then almost 4 years ago, we introduced EasyScan. Now, EasyScan will save you time and money by counting all the laps and creating all the reports for you with the touch of a button. Last year, there were over 5 million miles logged using EasyScan. This year, we are on track to do 7 million, and you're going to help us do that.
And if you want to keep up with that number, go to our Facebook EasyScan community page, and we'll update that as well. And you can connect with other users, see what they're doing with their programs, all that.
But lots of tips and tricks on there, and if you have some, please share them.
Yeah,
everybody likes to know them.
It's the EasyScan community on Facebook page.
There you go. Okay, let's get started.
All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to share the screen with you guys real quick. I'm going to show you what we're looking at. Okay, so you purchased EasyScan, and now you get an email from me, most likely, saying thank you for choosing EasyScan. There's some attachments on here that are going to show you how to use EasyTally, how to use EasyScan, setup. But the most important thing that you're going to want to know about is your activation code right here. So you're going to, as the steps say, click on the link here. I'll take you to the activate page. I'm going to come back and copy my code. And I'm going to put that in here. And let me just fill out this info real quick. Try that again. And remember, when you do your passwords, you have to be about 8 characters, a capital letter, and a number on there.
Remember, we do recommend using Google Chrome as a browser. EasyScan, EasyTally works best with
that one worked.
Google Chrome.
Try this one.
And EasyScan, the program itself, is comprised of 2 separate parts. EasyTally, that's the online database. We'll show you that first. And then EasyScan 2, which is the app. You'll find in either the App Store or Google Play, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit.
All right, so if this were to happen to you, what you would do is come down here, click on the bubble, and what you would do is come in and ask a question. So let me go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to fix this real quick. Scott, if you want to tell them maybe some uses for how they would use EasyScan.
Okay, there's several different things you can do. Obviously, of course, you're going to want to use it in your class, your PE classes, you can use it during class or brain breaks if you're a classroom teacher. You can also use it for fun runs or fund runs, so you can tell your people, your participants, show them how they've been running. We have a number of schools that will use it. You know, the kids take pledges for how many laps they're going to run. Well, this way you can prove to your pledge, your donors, yes, this is what our students did. This is what you would owe. The nice thing about this is that with more and more demands on data from the classroom to show what you guys are doing, it's all here in Easy Tally with Easy Scan. It'll push it right out, and you can go to your principal, you can go to your superintendent, your school board, and your parents and say, look, this is what little Joey did this week. Okay, you got it fixed?
Yep, I got it fixed. So
All right.
what had happened, and this will be important for you guys, is my email address was already in the system. And so you can't have two email addresses of the same email for two different accounts. So I cleared that one out and we are back in business. So let's go ahead. So this, I just activated it, and this is going to be the first screen you're going to get to. It's your setup steps. If you look up here, easymilegeclub.com/setup. If you ever get away from this page, don't panic. Just click log in and go back to this URL and you'll be good to go. So I see I've got my school name, address, all that. Don't worry about the number of enrolled students. If you don't know it right away, you can come back and edit that later. Just for now, as a place marker, I'll put 100 in our school. So next.
Now we're at the program page. And program is the Easy Scan name for the group, time period, or school year you want to run. We're going to just enter one for now, but you can add as many as you like. And you can change the names and the dates later if needed. But first, click the Add Program button and type in your program name. Set the dates in the calendar boxes. It's probably best you select yesterday's date for the start date.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
And when you're done, click the Create button.
There we go.
Now you can click the Save button. And away we go. Something important to remember. If you ever, at any time during this process, think, oh my gosh, I made a mistake, what do I do now? See the previous button? Click the previous button. It will take you back. Okay?
All right.
There you go.
And then just for clarification, sometimes courses and programs get mixed up a little. The program is just the name of your club or your run club or your classroom, your mileage club, and it's just the range of dates that you're going to collect data from.
It could be your school year if you're collecting data for your entire school year. It
Exactly.
could be, mileage club or Scott's gym class 2019, 2020.
Yeah, okay. Just whatever you want to make it, but just realize it's the dates that the data is going to be collected in.
Okay, now let's move on to the courses page. The course is where the kids are actually going to run or walk. Okay, so it can be anywhere. It could be an outside track. It could be inside your gym. It can be the halls of your school. We do have teachers that have courses set up for inside their classroom for brain breaks or just de-stressor breaks for some of their students.
Correct.
So it could be anywhere. Just need to enter a name and how many laps it takes to make a mile or a kilometer. And don't worry about it if you're not entirely sure. Again, you can always go back and edit it anytime.
So for example, we've got our outside track, 4 laps per mile. We've got our inside gym, that's 10 laps per mile. The scan delay here, that is how long you want the system to wait before the same student can scan their same card again. It won't affect the next kid in line or the person scanning that will be next. They can scan right away, but they're not going to be able to sit there and scan their same card over and over again until that 60 seconds has passed. So as an example, Scott said you can go back and edit. So let's click the pencil, and I want to change that actually to just 30 seconds. So there we go. And we expect, we have you guys, we suggest setting the scan delay to about the fastest time you think your fastest student could make it around the track. So that's just a little tip there from us. All right, so we got all that for you. So we'll just go ahead and hit next, and that's going to take us to classes and students. So this would be where you're going to put all of your class names and student names in. So I'll go ahead and hit add class.
Put the name of the class in.
Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go over here and look at what my class roster looks like. So I've got Mr. Smith, first grade.
Okay.
So let's go ahead. This one's going to be Mr. Smith. For the teacher, for now, I'm just going to put myself and first grade. Oops. First grade, create class. So I see
Okay.
here he is.
Click on the name and it drops down. There's all the stuff you want to do. We're going to add some students. So let's copy and paste our students in.
All right, so you hit that and this window comes up. Go back to my roster here. It's going to copy these names, paste them in.
Just like that. There they are.
You don't have to do gender if you don't want to. That does stop some people. They think that they have to go through and click. You do not need to. It's just an option. So here they are. It's that simple to just put in some students. Let's say I forgot a name on my list. And here we go. Add Mary Hart in, and there she is.
There she is.
All right.
So it's real simple. Once you get that class listing from your office, your secretary, or whomever is going to get that to you, just copy and paste them in, and you are good to go.
So I'll show you just another one, for example. And what grade is Mrs. Powers? Looks like she's still first grade. Create. Come over here. Copy and paste, and away we go again.
And they're in.
And just like that, I've got several students added, 2 full classes. So it's that simple. And from here, you can see that is the last step out of this section. So we'll just hit next, and we'll agree to the terms of service. And there you go. That is the basic setup for getting started.
You're all good to go, basically.
You'll see you've got your names here. You've got your classes that you added. So you're pretty much good to go at this point.
Let's look at that left side, shall we?
Yeah.
So the first one tells you miles.
Do we want to log into our full school real
Oh,
quick?
yes. Let's log into our first school,
Okay.
into our full school. Okay,
All right.
give us just a moment. We'll pull that one up.
So this will just show you what a school with everything set up would look like in it.
Yep. We'll go through the class list. And you can see what those tabs along the side actually do.
And from there, we'll get to some scanning. So, all right, got us logged in. So I just want to share the
There we go.
screen with you again. There we go. All right, so it's a little bit different. You can see in the teal box up here, I've actually got several programs going on. Let's go ahead and go to this year's. We've got our superhero class. So we can go back to where you were and give them the rundown on what they're seeing here.
Okay, so when you're looking at your class sheet, over on the left-hand side, first off is the miles. Okay, when you have that, you can click on the miles, those little bars right there, and it's going to come up and tell you how many miles and how many laps the kid actually put in.
And the dates that they did them.
Yeah.
You can edit these if you want to. Change the course even, save. You can delete out entries. You can even manually add entries if you happen to miss some when they were scanning.
Yeah.
And there's this other add miles button.
There you go. The next tab is the awards tab.
Oh.
And that you can see our kids have been earning a lot of awards.
And you'll know that they've earned them already because you can click these boxes. And so now I would, for example, if I hadn't given the first mile award out, I would click in here, and now I know that it's been given. I can also click on this trophy icon next to their name and mark awards given, unmark them, and even reprint certificates there as well. So you've got some options there on which direction you want to go.
Now, participation is the next tab, and that shows when the kids actually were there. So if there's a question, well, I swear I ran on this date. Well, I'm afraid this doesn't say that you scanned it all that date. So it'll tell you. And of course, it comes up with a little toe token with foot.
And so that's how you'll do that.
Okay.
And very importantly, you can print that sheet. You can print your participation tab here.
Mm-hmm.
You can also print your awards list, your school awards list. And when you do that, it'll come up like this and you'll download it. And when you hit done, I've already given out my awards, but an alert would come up here and it'll actually let you mark off all the awards at once. Mm-hmm. Some people love to do these current mileage certificates, and whatever mileage your students are at currently, you can print a certificate for them on demand. And then here's your other certificates tab. One last thing before we go away. Let's say you inputted your student's name and you happen to have a spelling error, or you just need to delete them out. If you need to make any edits on your students, just come to Class Sheet, go to Miles, click on a student name, and this window will appear. You can edit their name. I can add a 2 there if I wanted to. Now it's going to stay. I can delete that out. I can redo their gender. I can put them in a new grade, a different class if I need to, or add them to a team, or delete them. So if you ever need to edit or delete a student, that's where you would go to. Mm-hmm. All right, so our next big button would be the Edit My School button here.
Yep.
So let's go to that. And let's just start from left to right, I guess.
Yes.
All right.
So Edit School is just your school profile, tells you where you're at, address, et cetera, et cetera. So for example, we're Fitness Finders Elementary. It could be Jones Elementary, it could be Scott's Elementary, Susie's Elementary. Whatever you need, put the address. That just gives you some background of where you're at. Very simple.
So next,
awards are the types of awards that you're going to give. Obviously, being Fitness Finders, we're really big on giving out toe tokens.
Yeah. Let's add another one on there. Why don't we?
There you go. Just add it, hit save, green toe token. Simple as that. Perhaps you have other things you like to give out to the kids. We have a whole list of tokens that you can give through here or other things. One thing about awards, though, is that it really, really motivates the kids when they know they're earning an award. That's the whole theory behind what's the token theory economy, which is what we work on, which means that a person will work just as hard to get an award, a token that they can show off as they will for a paycheck. It works wonders with kids, motivates them to do all kinds of things. Works for adults too.
Exactly.
Okay, so you got some awards put in there. Now go to award levels, excuse me.
So this would be how you're going to get all those notifications that we saw set up. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and add one. And
so you can put whatever mile that you want them, their distance that you want them to earn it. You say, yep, we're going to do 4 miles. And for 4 miles, they're going to earn
the green toe token.
Green toe token.
So now I've got it set up. And now if I went back to the Class Sheet and awards, I see a bunch on my 4 mile that had already met that. And it's telling me green toe token there to give them.
Yep.
I can click that and see also green toe token. I need to give that to them.
There you go.
All right.
All right, now the next one is going to be classes. And that is fairly self-explanatory. You may want to put in first grade, second grade. You may want to put it in by the teacher's name. However you want to do it, some sort of descriptor so that you know what class you're dealing with.
Exactly. And then, so you're going to see your copy and paste students button here again, and also your create student button again. But you might be wondering, well, why wasn't I able to select the right teacher when we were doing that earlier? We can show you how. So if you're in Edit My School, you want to go to Users, And we're going to add a user. And this was actually Mrs. Smith's class. All right, and we'll give her full access. And now we'll go back to classes, and I want to edit class info. Now I've got Mrs. Smith that I can assign to that class.
Yep.
So pretty straightforward there for the classes tab.
Again, courses. That's where you can add more courses if you need to. Again, courses is where they're actually going to do their walking or running. Devices. This is kind of important because once you can have as many devices scanning as you want. There's not a limit to it. But one thing you do want to remember is you're probably going to want to name your device. It'll make it a lot easier to tell what exactly you're using. Okay, you can go to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and download EasyScan 2, and that'll be the app you'll use. And like I said, we'll get into that later on. You're going to want to name it. It'll help you be able to tell what device you've been using, what version the app is on, and whether or not it's synced.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's important, these devices will not show up until you've actually done your runs for the first time. So don't worry if you're doing your setup for the first time, you don't see anything there.
Right.
They won't show up until you've actually synced.
Okay, programs, again, this is what the time frame that you're going to be doing. For example, school year 2019, 2020, that's where you'll look that up, whatever name you have for your program.
And also, you'll notice this will actually separate the data as well. These data for these programs, it's not going to combine or leak into the other one. Once you hit the program on your device, it's only going to put that data in that program. So you're going to be able to separate things that way.
Yep. QR codes. This is a big question we get. How do I print my QR codes? Go to Edit My School, QR codes, and follow the little bouncing ball. So choose your QR size, choose who you want to print. You got a whole bunch of different options there. Choose your labeling options, so you can put your class name, the grade, school. You don't have to put any of those on there if you don't want. And then print all students.
And there you go. So it'll download them, and then it'll list several on a page. So don't worry about wasting paper. It'll put a bunch of them on there at once. So I can just show you an example. See, it'll fill up the entire page for you.
Yep.
You can laminate these and it will not affect the scanning. You can also print them on cardstock. Just make sure you don't print them on a dark colored paper.
We don't recommend that. And here's something that this is a question that's always asked at the end of it. No, there is no data stored in that QR card. So say Susie manages to lose her card and somebody picks it up. It's not going to matter, because all they're going to get when they scan that with their QR reader, they're just going to get a random set of numbers and letters.
Right.
Okay. Now, granted, you do have a student's name on there. You can always put, if you're worried about that, you can always, when you go to input your names, put, first name, last initial, that sort of thing, or first name, student number.
Or even you can see, like the superheroes, you can do code names even. It does not have to be a real name.
Right, right. But do remember that QR code, once it's printed out, once you've entered that student, as long as you don't delete that student, that QR code will last as long as that student is in the system. They don't have to have a new QR code every time they lose a card. It's going to be the same one. So you could have, if your program runs from pre-K through 5th grade, as we have at several of our local schools, those cards they can use that same thing from pre-K through 5th grade.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to teams.
So teams, you see I've got some here. I went ahead and added afternoon PE boosters by hitting add team, giving it a name, and selecting myself as the teacher there. So now you're wondering, how do I get students into that team? So you're going to click on it just like you did with the classes tab, hit add students, and now if I want to add all of these, I just click on their arrows and you see them move to the left, hit OK. Those are added in. Could go to my next class, add in a few more, and continue on until you've got your team built. And now when I go to class sheet, I'm able to separate their data by that, or I can go to run reports based on their team. So just some options there. Lastly is the users tab, which we kind of covered a little bit already. So we showed you how to add a new user account. We added Mrs. Smith. We put her email in there. To get her own password, go ahead and click this black envelope button and you'll see sent password email there. So now she can set up her own. I'll go ahead and delete this one so we can show you how you would add this account as well. New shared user account. This is going to be for people that you need to scan for you only. So your volunteers, that sort of thing, they're only going to be able to get on the app and scan. They're not going to be able to log in on the computer here. All you need to do, give them a password, which you can see 8 characters contain at least 1 letter and 1 number. You cannot edit any of this. It's just going to give you a generic name, email. Hit create. And now everybody that I work with can use the same email and password for all their scanning.
And again, this is another question that comes up a lot. You can have unlimited people scanning.
Exactly.
So say you have 50 kids in your class and 50 parents show up, as long as they have the app on their device and you give them the code to log in, they can scan.
And they can all use that at once as well.
Yep.
They do not have to be on the Wi-Fi, anything like that special. They'll be good to go.
Okay.
All right, so
I think that covers pretty much everything that's on Easy Tally. Again, that's the online database where you're going to get all your data and your numbers back. It may look a little daunting at first, but you'll have to just trust us on this. Once you get in and start playing around, you're going to find out that it is pretty simple to use. It's easy.
all right.
All right, let's move on to showing you a device. So we're actually going to use an iPad today.
So let me go ahead and share that screen for you.
Give us just a second for it to come back up.
There we go. Ah.
There we go. Okay, this is what the opening page, once you've downloaded, again, Easy Scan 2 from your app store, this is what it's going to look like. You've got start session, time session, sync now, that's going to be important, practice session settings, and log out.
So the first thing you want to do when you log in, mostly every single time, just go ahead, hit the sync button. And that's going to transfer any data that you have edited, changed, your courses, your program, your students' names, any additional students, they all have to be synced before you begin. It's just good practice just to sync every single time before you begin.
Right, and that is the only time you're going to have Wi-Fi with Easy Scan. You have to have Wi-Fi to sync.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so that we've got that. Let's go into our settings because we're going to set this up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is you can look at the theme. Now we have a number of themes in there. We have a coach, we have a pirate. Let's see which ones I have installed. Coach, put pirate in and say, okay. If you want a different themes, you can see up in the upper right hand corner it says manage installed themes. There are a whole bunch of different ones in there.
I'll just show them to you real quick.
And you can pick and choose which ones you want, download them, and then you can use those.
And of course you see there's a none as well. It's totally optional.
Yep, you don't have to have that at all.
The kids do seem to love it. And just go ahead and hit save settings. Make sure that it's going to save for you.
You can see device name. We have Scott's iPad. Orientation. That's going to tell you how you have it. Do you want it right side up? Do you want it down, front, back, etc.?
Another important one would be the camera. You can make it set default front camera, back camera. And this is going to prevent it from switching from front to back while you're doing your sessions and just give you a default there. Once you have everything saved there, you'll just hit back to home and you'll be good to go.
Okay.
When you first start, we recommend doing a practice session before you begin your first real session. They'll just give you some time to see how it actually works and everything. But right now, we'll just go ahead and do a real session.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit Start Session.
And it's going to take us to the program selection. Which program are we running? Well, it's fall 2019, so that's the one we're going to choose.
And this is important because you want the correct program to be selected because you want the data to be sent to the right program on your website.
Right.
So if you have multiple volunteers, just go and make sure that they've all selected the correct program before you begin. Next, it'll ask you what course you're running at. We'll go ahead and do Indie today, and we will start scanning.
All right. So we're going to run by.
And it was that quick. You can see you got a name there, a cumulative distance on the right side, and their lap count for just today. And
oh, look at that.
There we go. So we know it's working well. So Scott wouldn't be able to just sit there and scan the same cards over and over. It's going to block him on there.
Can't load my data that way. Nope.
So, you know, as they're going by doing their laps and everything.
So you try one more time with this one, see if still too soon.
Still too soon. That's okay.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and you'll hit Stop Scanning.
Are you sure?
And okay.
Okay.
And important again, if you want the data to show up, hit Sync Now. And
it's kind of a good habit to get into. As soon as you walk into the building, hit sync. It works very easy like that.
So that's syncing, and let's get you back to our database real quick. And let's just see the data that came in. So which cards did we scan?
Oh, the top three. Sorry, we had Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, and Captain America.
All right, so I see Ant-Man here. Let's see. October 4th at 12:35 p.m. One lap, just like we wanted. Who was in Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel, yep.
And another one. So that's how you would see it all come through. Go over to participation, and yep, there we go. We see that they participated today. All right, so next we'll go to the stats page. This is where you can view all of the data. You've got some stuff here. You've got participation, distances, weekly progress. You can do it all by class, team, grade, school. And then we've got our leaderboards here, which many schools like to print this out and put it on their bulletin board. Kind of keeps the kids up to date, who's in the lead. If you're doing a school event, you can even separate by classes, teams, grades.
Mm-hmm.
And then next we go into view reports.
Yeah, there's some really cool reports in here that, like I said before, you need data to show how you're doing. This is where you're going to get it.
Exactly. And let's go ahead and run a report for what we just did today. This is just a laps report, and the three there that we just did, they came right up for us.
Yep.
It shows what course we did, what class it was, the date, totals everything up. And you can do this for a wide range of dates, a lot more students if you want, but that's basically how the reports will work for you.
Okay,
Right.
that is literally the whole program. It's called Easy Scan because it is easy to use. It may take you a little bit to get it set up, but it's not going to be that difficult. We're here to help you, all right? One thing that we really pride ourselves on is our customer service. So feel free to use us. Down in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little button down there. That's our chat button. We are here Monday through Friday, 8 till 5 Eastern time. And during that time, you can use the chat button. We'll get back to you. We'll get on it right away. You can call us. Chat button is best because it goes to the IT guys, and we literally keep them in a small dark room with no phone. Everybody always thinks we're joking, but it's true. Probably good for them too.
Probably.
We do take them out and feed and water once in a while. Use the chat button. They can send you videos. They can tell you what's going on. They can check your data for you. It's a great function. Otherwise, you can call us. One thing I did forget, you'll see little question marks around the screen when we go. Let's go back and show that real quick.
Before we go. All right, so here's one that he's talking about.
See the question mark? If you run into any trouble at all, you click on that question mark, and it's going to open up and tell you.
About the page you're on even.
Yep. Real simple.
Also, if you happen to be working on this on the weekend or another time and you can't get a hold of us at that time, we've got an FAQ button down here in the chat as well.
Yep.
And you can type in your question or category, like such as devices, what devices work, compatible devices, all that sort of stuff. So just let us know if you need to add, if we need to add any more resources for you there. We'll be happy to do that.
Yep, we do track what questions are asked that we may not have already answered. Okay. I guess that's really about it. We can take some questions now. Looks like there's a couple on the side of the screen here. One question, I don't think we answered this earlier. How many students? It will take up to 1,500 students.
Right.
So we haven't yet run into that limit, but you can do 1,500 students in a single program. And to go along with that, you can use as many people scanning as you want at one time. As we said, if 50 parents show up, all 50 can scan. You have 500 parents show up, well, you can have all 500 of them. It might be kind of rough for you to ride herd on those people, but yes, you could have all 500 people scanning at once. Any other questions?
Okay, so to advance the students to use their cards from year to year, I'll just show you real quick.
Yeah, this is a good one.
You'll go to Edit My School Programs, and you'll add a program. I'm not going to do the full thing, but you'll base it off of your old one. Continue. You want to retain the students. You want to advance them. And most people hit no on retain mileage because that'll make you start at 0 the next year. You'll give it a name, and then it'll have you walk through some steps to advance your students to the next program. That's how you're going to get them to use the same card from year to year.
Yep.
And that's what you can see. I've got my hard copy card here. You do not have to buy these. No. They are sold separate. As we showed you, you can print your QR codes as many times as you want.
There's no charge to print your own.
Right.
I know some of our competitors do charge you for that. We don't. You print as many as you want. So say Joey's out on the playground and every other day he eats his, which he probably does. You can print him a new one every time. Little Susie's walking across the playground. She drops her card, comes back. I don't have my card. Print her one. There's no cost to do that. Another no cost thing is our support. I was telling you about our tech guys, and when we're here, there's never a charge for support. Okay, that's always free for the entire length of your subscription. The other neat thing is any updates that come out during that time, there's no charge for those either. But once you have a year-long subscription, everything that comes along is yours. You've already paid for it.
Exactly.
Okay? There's no hidden fees in here. For those of you who are still on the fence, we do have that 14-day trial. You don't even have to put a credit card in. It's not going to automatically charge you. I highly suggest you get in there, give it a shot, run through it, and all that information you put in, say, yeah, I'm going to run it for 2 weeks at my school, see what I like. All that information you put in will stay in for a length of time afterwards. So say, yeah, I like this, but I've got to get it through. Don't worry, you're not going to have to re-add all that information. It will be there. If you have problems, just call us. We're always happy to help. Okay?
Exactly.
Anything else?
Looks like that's about it.
No, that's about it at the moment. Okay. Again, I'm Scott. Like I said, I've spoken to a lot of you. I have emailed you guys. I'm always happy to help you. Feel free to give me a call or drop me an email, and we'll talk about what it is that you need to get your program up and running. Okay?
Just lastly, I'll just show you here on our main website. Here's our number right up here at the top, 800-789-9255. feel free to give us a call if you need any immediate assistance or just have questions to ask and want to talk to one of us. We'll be happy to help.
We're here to help you. Well, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. If you have any other questions, again, 800-789-9255. Give us a call, drop us a line, and we'll be happy to help you. Have a terrific weekend, okay?
All right. Have a great weekend. Thank you.